Welcome to the Success Revenue Podcast, the only podcast in the Middle East that brings you leaders in customer success, account management, sales, and go-to-market to share ideas, perspectives, and valuable learnings on how to successfully drive revenue, delight customers, and take it to the next level.
We are your hosts. I am Haider Al-Saad, CEO of RevSetter, the modern customer management platform. And I also have my lovely co-host with me, Ivy Ferrero, CS Executive, Keynote Speaker, and Advisor. And we are so excited to bring you a long list of guests this season of the Success Revenue Podcast, including today's guest, who is a veteran in the customer success field as a CS leader and executive, as a founder and CEO, and with knowledge and experience from across the Middle East region, in particular in key markets like Saudi Arabia, Jordan, the UAE, and beyond. So very excited for this guest and conversation, and we believe you'll have a lot of great takeaways, including how CS will help you increase company valuations through improving customer lifetime value, net retention, other key financial metrics. We'll also get into how you can really leverage and use an impactful CS strategy to improve your overall impact on the business from a CS perspective and on your company's success. And lastly, we'll also talk about how CS technology and AI can play a really major role along with strategy in terms of going from a reactive to a proactive approach and doing customer success. So all very, very interesting topics, all very top of mind for any CS or go-to-market leader out there, any business leader really that's thinking about how they can take it to the next level. So I've been very excited for today's conversation. We're kickstarting the week here. I'm sure you've been busy as well. How you been, Ivy?
You said it correctly. I've been really busy.
Yeah.
But everybody that I've been talking to seems to have been really busy, just kicking off the new year with lots of plans, lots of things to execute on. But it's been nice. And I'm excited for today's guest. I'm so eager to learn more about what's happening in Saudi, and how the CS community is also growing there as well.
Yeah, for sure. It's interesting. I mean, I think you mentioned kind of being busy at the start of the year, and one thing that I've always kind of felt and experienced myself as well, right, working at larger companies in particular, but also smaller companies, it's kind of as the year starts for any company, you're kind of always so busy with kind of the final strategy work, the final things that you're gonna do for this year. But really, this work should have been done a few months ago, but at the end of each year, you're so busy with closing the books and the business and everything else, so you don't get enough time. And it's just an interesting piece. I've always tried to implement CS strategy kind of in, let's say, in Q4. So come January of a new year, as an example, everyone's good to go, everything's flowing, but it's really hard to get that done. And I don't know if you've seen that as well, where kind of strategy spills over to the new year, and then you end up really getting started with the new strategy and kind of what you're trying to do in March instead of in January, and now you're behind with a few months. I think that's a really interesting thing to think about. Have you experienced that as well in terms of that delay?
Yes.
That we see often?
Yeah, especially I feel like also in the Middle East, there's some extra delays with the Eid holiday.
Right,
and then
the different holidays coming up.
And then Ramadan, and there's like a couple of Eids.
Yes.
And then there's the summer, so everybody leaves Dubai for like 3 to 4 months. So really, I mean, you can have, I think everybody should have a strategy, because obviously the idea is to have some targets, work backwards. And you've heard the saying, if you don't have a plan, it'll be really hard for you to execute. But I also believe that there are so many other delays that are coming to play when it comes to being in the Middle East.
Yeah, I agree with that, I think. And then again, I think it just increases the importance of being well prepared and preparing your strategy. And if it was, one piece of advice I would definitely give leaders out there in terms of that is, if you, going into the year with a very clear idea of what you should do, how you should do it, why you should do it, and what way, then the year will be much more successful than kind of figuring things out as you start. Because especially in CS, I mean, we know how it is. Things are kind of on time delay, and kind of what you do right now, you'll see the impact of 6 months from now, truly, right? So for good and for bad, right? So the bad habits that you have today, the things that you're not doing today, you'll really struggle with down the line, a couple of quarters down, and the things that you do really well, 2, 3, 4 quarters down is when we really start seeing the impact of that, because that's how kind of customer success and working with customers moves. So I think it's a critical thing, and it's very timely as well, based off of today's guest, who has a lot of experience with helping companies with these things in terms of strategy, technology implementation, and all that good stuff that you want to do effectively from an early stage as a company, and then build out that foundation. So yeah, very, very excited about digging into those things.
Yes, I'm so excited. Okay, should we bring our guest out?
Yes, let's do it. Let's get him out and just get going with today's episode. All right. I am so excited for today's guest and to bring him on board for the podcast. Let me welcome Ashraf Mraybeh to the Success Revenue podcast and today's episode. I'm extremely excited about Ashraf because Ashraf brings a long and vast experience and knowledge in the customer success space in the Middle East region. His experience spans 20 plus years working at companies like Zen HR, driving commercial and post-sales teams, and now also running successfully a CS strategy and consulting firm with a focus on the Middle East region and markets like Saudi, UAE, Jordan, and beyond. So Shaf, really, really happy to have you on with us today. We have a bunch of fun conversation that we'll have around customer success and where we are with everything. And before we jump into all those questions, I know everyone is kind of curious to hear your thoughts and learn from your long experience on. Why don't we just start kind of simple, Ashraf? For those that don't know you, give us a little bit about your background, story, kind of where you are today. And we'll start us off there.
Sure. Thank you, Haider, and thank you, Ivy. Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure to be here with you and chatting about our journey and experience in customer success. So, Haider, as you said, let me give you some background on myself. So basically, I started my career 20 years ago in the field of sales, business development, revenue management in the tech field specifically. And during my leadership roles, I specialized in building revenue teams in the space of SaaS, ERP, HR technology, and recruitment platforms. So the last 12 years, I was focusing on building sustainable revenue teams. And I built the first CS team at Zen HR back in 2017. And my journey with the customer success started from there, actually. And now I founded my venture successfully, which is the first Arabic company specialized in customer success consulting and implementation services. Yep.
Amazing. And
Thank you.
I want to definitely dig into some kind of your early experiences with launching customer success at an early stage at Zen HR and then kind of to where you are today. But talk to us a little bit about successfully, because I think it's super interesting, right? As you said, you guys are the first Arabic consultancy firm, implementation firm for CS within the region. Talk a little about the successfully, kind of the thoughts around that and your journey to kind of get that going and breaking right into the market.
So successfully was founded in 2024. And as you said, we became the first Arabic company specialized in CS. Actually, we partnered with companies and business founders mainly to design and build their CS strategy and process, and combining that with implementing really modern customer success platforms, focusing on the MENA and GCC region. So, and our journey has been great so far. We see a lot of potential in the market, and when interacting with CS professionals and business founders and leaders, CEOs, and when we reflect how can proper customer success strategy and tools help them basically elevate the customer experience they provide, increase their, let's say, growing recurring revenue, decrease churn, building customer loyalty and advocacy. It's awesome to see how can we help our partners in that area. And it's been great so far, as I said, and we see a lot of potential. And a lot of now business leaders are recognizing more the value of customer success in our region and our market. Yeah.
Wow, that's amazing. And Ashraf, with all the experience that you have in the different regions, you're based out of Saudi, right? Okay, awesome.
Yeah.
So what are your thoughts on customer success in the Middle East region?
Yeah. So, as you know, the CS in general, it's still relatively new. And if I look back on the CS and the history of CS, when it really started to pick up in the US and European market, maybe back in 2012, 2013. And from what we know now, since we're experienced in our region and the GCC and MENA market, there's often a gap between the advanced, let's say, markets and our market. And so now we can see that CS is really growing up rapidly. People are mainly paying more attention to the after sales activities than before. So I believe now it's really picking up in our part of the world, and people are converting more their attention and focus towards growing their customers and paying attention how to enhance the customer experience as well. So this offers a tremendous opportunity for all the CS professionals, basically, and will have also great impact on the industry as a whole.
I love that. Yeah. Hader and I, we talk about it all the time. And coming from the US, we definitely, as soon as we got here, we realized there was a huge potential. And so I'm so glad
Exactly.
we have met you, because I feel like the more people that we spotlight in this podcast that are on the same mission of amplifying customer success in the Middle East, the better it's going to be for all of us, for more businesses to start implementing more of a customer-centric approach. And I think that is also a huge opportunity for more jobs to be created in CS. I get messages all the time of people that are trying to find CS jobs, and I would love for there to be more CS jobs. Now, what is your perspective on how CS is going to be evolving? Where do you think it's actually going in this region?
Um, I think CS is not different than the other, let's say, industries. So data and AI is huge. Let's say it will identify a new era of customer success in using the AI and data. People will start to basically depend on AI and data to be able to deliver a proactive customer experience and engagement. People will start and companies need to measure the customer health score and identify any risks or chain risks early on, basically to mitigate those risks. So I believe AI is the next thing in CS. However, I want to highlight that it will not replace CSMs, but it will empower them, help them to be or to become more efficient. Okay.
Yeah.
And also automate a lot of stuff
Yes.
in the area of repetitive tasks. So AI, automations, and efficiency, I think, is the name of the game nowadays. Everyone is trying to become more efficient in terms of costs, resources, etc. So people will need to act on that in order to be able to build long-term relation with the customer and increase the lifetime value. The other thing is, as you mentioned, IB, is the customer centricity and the high expectations of the customers. Nowadays, customers are coming with high expectations, expecting flawless and seamless customer experience. So having a proper customer journey to basically grow the customer after sales is really important and critical. And the last thing I'm seeing that CS is moving towards handling the revenue, to have ownership over the revenue more than before. So it's a key metric that companies have to consider in terms of NDR, upselling, cross-selling, expansion, customer lifetime value. So I think companies and CS will move forward to become more like metric and quantitative, let's say, model more than before.
So interesting. Yeah, I love kind of every time we speak about AI these days, and across industries, and especially in go-to-market with sales, CS, we always have to preface like it will not replace people; it will help people. That's the whole thing. And I think it's kind of, the truth is somewhere in between, right? With great efficiencies through AI, and you don't need to grow as fast headcount, but each person becomes a lot more efficient and a lot more powerful, right? And what they can do through AI supporting them. So I think that's a great observation, and just also a funny one, because we always need to put that preface on it in terms of replacing human beings today. But so I think you went into a few different interesting parts there, right? But talking about what will change, and obviously for someone that with your experience, right, with that back, starting customer success as an HR or different advisory roles, and what you guys do today successfully, working with a lot of different types of companies, enterprise and medium-sized and smaller, and helping them with their strategy. I'm sure there's a lot of kind of different ways that you're seeing customer success evolve, and you mentioned a few of them. I'm curious to hear more about the revenue focus piece that you mentioned there, right? Kind of that balance between customer success, traditional account management, and where that kind of sits in organizations today. Do you see that? Do you see that struggle still? Do you see that changing, where CS will own more of everything, or will these teams kind of work closely together under one umbrella? Where do you see that heading in the future?
Yeah, I from what I'm seeing today, Haider, as you said, CS in many companies still do not own the revenue part, but I'm seeing people are moving there because they want basically to highlight the value and to show the value of the customer success and have receipt on the table, as they call it. So I'm seeing it moving towards owning the revenue. But the status quo is still it's developing right now, and I think part of our responsibility today as CS leaders in the region, basically to build awareness about that, highlight the value, and as you saw during our interaction with professionals from the same domain and field, everyone is looking to have the to own the revenue, to show the value, and mainly to explain to the board or to the executives the value of CS. It's not easy, but I think it's going in the right direction, and it needs some time.
Yeah, that makes sense. Just a quick follow-up on that. If you would give CS and revenue leaders kind of one piece of advice on how to best show that value, right, to the board, to the executive team, what would be kind of one recommendation that you would give them?
Have your own data insight that can support your case and support your metrics and numbers. Know what you need to measure, and highlight it to the board, highlight it to the executive team, so you can have a seat on the table, and mainly build good relationships with other teams, because you're not alone. You need to collaborate with other departments and influence whatever you can in order to make your customers successful.
That makes a lot of sense. That makes a lot of sense.
I love that.
Yeah.
Ashraf, and as a CS strategy advisor, you work with many clients, and I'm sure you see many of the challenges and also opportunities that companies face in the Middle East. What would you say are some of the most common ones?
The challenges, we might also talk about one, basically, which is that the CS is not metric driven at the time being. The main challenge is also the CS does not have a seat on the table. And mainly what from I'm seeing and experiencing with customers, not all business leaders are empowering their CS teams in terms of let's say product roadmap, prioritizing their let's say input, etc. So that is the main challenge. The other one is, as we said, the CS is relatively new, and the knowledge in the market is, and the know-how is still picking up. So, and people are trying to explore and know more, which is a good thing. But I think the market and let's say CS talents are not many. So there is some lack in the talent. In terms of opportunities, I believe there are mega opportunities because a high percentage of companies are changing their business model towards SaaS and towards recurring revenue to become basically more profitable, and also show, now in the area of VCs and funding, it's really important to show healthy economic metrics, or like CAC costs, CLTV, and NDR, which can basically increase the company's valuation as a whole. So it's a great opportunity out there, and I think opportunities are increasing up because, as I said, companies are changing their business models towards recurring revenue.
Yeah. Okay, great points. I love that. And Ashraf, what type of advice would you give to a company that, let's say, they're looking to establish a better CSS strategy and process, but are not really sure where to begin?
Yeah. My advice would be just begin. The earlier you start, the better. So I always advise people just start now, put the foundation of the CS strategy, even if it's a very, very simple one. Just to start now, pick it up from now, because you don't want to be too late in fixing that. So and don't wait for having the let's say full power, or the perfect tool, or the full data points from your technical or product team. Just start now. Start with what you're having. Start it simple, and it's a journey. You need to keep basically updating that and fixing that, enhancing it. It's not something that it's a moving target in a nutshell. So start
Yeah,
now. Start off with what you have. Start simple and grow it as you go.
love that.
Yeah, that is great for sure. And I think, like you said, a lot of people, we as humans tend to overthink things a lot of times and wait for the perfect
Yeah,
set of circumstances. But as we know, in any business, small or large, there's never that perfect set of circumstances for anything, really. So you have to kind of get going and start building the foundation of the house, right? And laying those first few bricks,
definitely.
and go from there. So I think that's a great point. For sure. I think, maybe piggybacking off of that as well, right? Strategy is one piece of it. Um,
Yeah.
Give us kind of your thoughts on technology, right, within customer success and CS technology, in particular, kind of the role that can play and the outcomes that you're looking for from a CS perspective, and the way that you want to drive the organization. Let's see kind of your thoughts on how CS technology can play a role in customer
Yeah.
success.
It plays a major role, Haidar, for sure, because we're trying to convert reactive CS to proactive CS. And for the CS professionals or managers or account managers, they need tool to basically empower them, automate stuff, to enable them to basically spend time and perform the, let's say, the high value activities that basically
Mm.
positively impact their customers and deliver successful metrics to them. So definitely technology and having scalable, let's say, and personalized communication tools within the technology will help the CS managers to build basically strong relationships with their accounts. And as you know, technology helps you on multiple levels. As we said, high scale communication, automation, implementing playbooks, automating repetitive tasks such as renewals, etc. But it also give us also data and actionable insights of what is going on, understanding how customers are using our platform, our product, our services, understanding their goals, measure success, and highlight the value for customers to be acknowledged in order to stay with us longer.
Yep. That makes a lot of sense. And I think that's, you talk about so many different areas there, but I think one of the things that, from what you said, that really resonates, I think, with myself and probably with others also, is how technology can help you go from reactive to proactive, right? It's really a big part of doing that transition, because it's really hard to be proactive with just manual workflows and sheets and kind of trying to figure it out without having a full picture of everything, or they're doing to automate and beyond. So I think that's really a piece of advice that any sales CS leader and revenue leader should think about, that transition. Technology and strategy can help you go from reactive to proactive in a good way. That's awesome. Let me ask you, because we obviously you have a good idea of CS across the different regions in the Middle East. You work in different markets. You advise customers in different markets. Your primary market has been Saudi Arabia, though, right? KSA, and we have a lot of folks that are either in the region or in the market in Saudi, or are trying to enter the Saudi market and trying to figure things out. Can you talk about, specifically about the Saudi market? How do you see customer success take shape there? How do you see it evolving? I know customer experience is really important in the Saudi market. Account management is there traditionally. CS is growing, but what are your perspectives specifically on the Saudi market and how customer success is developing there?
As I said, so the attention and the focus on customer success and customer experience in general is increasing, especially in KSA. And basically from the events that we attend, from the, let's say, when we speak or when we participate with those events, we sense the eagerness and the willingness of the people to learn more about customer success. And a lot of them are considering basically also to enter the field, as Ivy mentioned. They're looking to do some career change, because they believe that the CS is new and basically it has a lot of potential, and the demand will be increasing in the future. Let's say the good thing and the nice thing about CS, it's a commercial and it's not a non-commercial role at the same time. So that combination of the two, let's say, sides of the experience that people will gain is really valuable. The other thing, when we let's say talk about the other side of the let's say equation, VCs in KSA are also stressing a lot about the main metrics on the, let's say, SaaS metrics, CS metrics, in terms of NDR, GDR, churn rates, MPS, CSAT, etc., because they're basing their decisions on those metrics, and it really matters for today for, as you know, companies and business founders to basically increase and have healthy valuation of their companies.
Right.
So definitely the attention and focus on customer success in KSA is increasing a lot, and it's evolving.
Nice. And Ashraf, I've heard there is a lot of opportunity in the sense that there is more money that is coming in to get startups out from the built. like in comparison to Dubai, I believe that I've heard that there is way more opportunity and way more startups that are coming into Saudi. So I'm assuming there's also a bigger need for customer success departments to be built. I wanted to ask you a question. So when it comes down to implementing a CS tool, what would you say is when is actually the right time to implement the CS tool? Like, how do you know in which year do you implement it? Or is this something that you would advise like a startup to implement right off the bat? Because with knowing that some of the things that a company has to know, it's kind of like some indicators of where things are going well, the product usage and everything. But what is your take on when a company should actually start implementing a CS tool?
Great question, Ivy. Actually, there is no, let's say, one answer that fits all cases. But in general, there are multiple factors that you need to base that decision on. For example, how complex is your product? How many customers do you have? So having, for example, 20 customers is different than having 200 or 300. So it depends on multiple factors. And what does your, let's say, customer journey looks like? How much time it takes to onboard a customer? What are your success, let's say, metrics? You're basically measuring, and mainly you need to listen to your customers. Are they, let's say, asking for help? Are they reaching out a lot to your support team? What is your NPS? How does it look like? Is it going up? Is it going down? So there are multiple factors, but I believe the let's say the if we call it the more early you can adopt a tool, the better. But
Got it.
there are multiple factors basically to base your decisions on.
Got it. Got it. And Ashraf, I would love to go back to the question. I know we were talking about how CS has now a bigger responsibility when it comes down to the revenue, right? I I personally believe that it is very important for CSMs to have a commercial mindset. What is your
Yeah.
take on this?
I totally agree too. I love that part because I think um, CS is very interesting field, and every day there is zero routine. By the way, job in the CS, and having a say in the commercial part, and having a commercial mindset and a commercial, let's say, metrics to be measured efficiently based on those metrics will help the CS a lot. Because if you're doing basically you're proactively communicating with your customers, you're helping them to achieve their goals, you're delivering your promise, then it will be very easy for you to upsell and cross sell, and it will come natural. Um, this is the let's say the vision, and in every strategy that we do with customers, I highly advise on that part.
Yeah,
Okay, yeah,
yeah,
agree.
yeah, definitely agree as well. And it's interesting, right? Like I think regardless of what business you are, you're in SaaS with subscription models, you're more traditional industrial manufacturing, what have you. uh, Typically you have customers, and ultimately your goal is for those customers to either rebuy if it's a kind of transactional thing, or renew if it's some type of kind of services or subscription model, expand and grow with you. That's ultimately the goal. Otherwise the business dies at the end. And everything else you do is for that purpose, including customer success. You're creating value, you're building advocacy, you're doing all these different things to acquire new customers and keep and grow your existing ones, right? So I think having that mindset and understanding the role that the different teams can play in this process with the same ultimate goal. I think companies that do that very well are very successful, and typically they do have a commercial connection between the account management and the customer side of things, to tie all that together. So yeah, that definitely well taken point. Um, we're going to, shall we jump into kind of a final section here in a second and talk through some things. I just have one kind of quick, I just want to hear your thoughts on this with, we talked about kind of AI a little bit earlier and the commercial aspect of things. How do you think kind of AI will play a role in terms of aiding that process of identifying expansion opportunities or understanding where the CSM should focus or the account manager should focus in terms of driving revenue specific things? I'll just super quick, Chris, your thoughts on that.
Yeah, definitely. So basically, AI will support CS people to highlight two things, and it will recommend for the, let's say, account managers when a customer, it will basically build trends and understanding of customer behavior when it is a risky situation, how to and what to do to handle specific cases or risks in order to increase retention of that account. At the end, you will be renewing them for another year or two. So basically, it will help in retention, and it will also help in mitigating risks, not to lose accounts. On the other side, it will also help customer success managers to pitch other services in terms of upselling, cross-selling, when it is the right time, based on what I might be willing to upsell this account. When is the good time to do that? The customer, for example, is happy, their health score is green, their number of, let's say, users or seats are growing up. So it's a good time, for example, to upsell or to cross-sell another module or product that we provide. So it will definitely help a lot. It will make it easy for customer success people to manage their accounts in terms of generating more revenue, increase retention, and help them to perform more upselling and cross-selling activities.
Awesome. Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah, for sure. Okay, awesome, Ashraf. This has been such a great conversation. And today what we do on the pod here is, as we kind of wrap things up, we like to ask some kind of quick fire questions to our guests, a few simple ones to get just kind of your immediate response to those. And I have a couple I like to ask to start us off, and then I know Ivy wants to kind of ask one or two as well of her own here before we wrap things up. So if you're ready, Ashraf, we'll jump right in, and I'll throw some questions at you.
Yep, definitely.
Awesome. All right, so we'll start easy. First one, what's your favorite content to consume right now? Book, podcast? Do you have anything in particular that you like to consume currently?
Yeah, there are many things, Haider, especially podcasts and webinars and attending, for example, some CS or SaaS events, such as SaaSter, for example, was really one of a kind experience. But for me, one of the favorite books is the Customer Success Professionals Handbook by, I hope I spell it right, Ashwin Vaidyanathan and Robin Rebecca. Okay. This is one of my favorite books in customer success. It really talks about the foundation of customer success, the history, the evolvement of the field. So I really advise everyone to check it out. It's you can order it on Amazon or Audible.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, that's a great book for sure. I recommend it as well as a kind of good baseline book in customer success. Awesome. All right, so next one for you here, Ashraf. Do you have any kind of favorite person or people to follow or get inspiration from? Anyone in particular worth mentioning?
I really follow a lot of people and professionals in the field, different countries, different companies, and I really sometimes I really enjoy getting the different insights that come from different people. I don't have a specific person to be honest. But for example, SaaSter is one of my favorite events that I don't miss every year.
Yeah, excellent.
And I learn a lot from that.
Yep. And the founder Jason Also,
Jason.
this great guy, Jason Lemkin, to follow and learn from as well. So agreeing there. Okay, perfect. And then the last one for me for you, Ashraf, here, kind of if you could pick one thing, high level, what's your kind of favorite prediction for 2025?
I'll keep it within CS.
Yeah.
So my favorite prediction is basically seeing more companies and organizations adopting CS frameworks, technologies, and prioritizing data-driven insights on customer success, and embracing customer success tools and centricity models more in 2025. Yeah,
excellent. Awesome.
And to convert actually CS as growth engine of the company, as main growth engine.
Definitely.
I love that. Awesome. I love that. Okay, Ashraf, here we go. This is my favorite question to ask all of our guests. Okay. So what is one life philosophy you like to live by?
All right. I think the main one is trust. I think trust is a foundation of many things on the personal or business life. Trust is very important to basically be able to communicate with people, build relationships, even achieve success. You require to build trust with people. So I think trust is one of my favorite philosophies in life.
Yeah, I would agree. It's one of the top ones for me. And it makes me think, Ashraf, as well, of like also trusting yourself, trusting your intuition, and speaking your truth. It's all like interconnected with each other. I love that.
Definitely.
Ashraf, and lastly, when you're not at work as successfully, what are you up to on the weekends? And also, where can people find you if they're trying to connect with you?
Definitely, I can be found on LinkedIn, Successfully website, Successfully LinkedIn page, and I love to basically have chats with people, going out for coffees during even evening time or weekends with the CS community. We participate a lot in that area, so it's really one of my favorite activities to do even after work. Other stuff is spending time, of course, with family, friends, and some hobbies in terms of sports and sometimes off-roading. So that's mainly what amazed me.
Nice. Yeah. Nice. Adventurous.
Thank you.
Awesome. That's great, Ashraf. No, it's been such a pleasure having you. We know you're very busy, and we appreciate you taking time to come on today and share all your experience and knowledge with us and the listeners. So again, thank you so much, Ashraf. We appreciate your time, and we look forward to having you on again here in the future.
Thank you, Haider. Thank you, Ivy, for having me. I really enjoyed my time, and it's a pleasure to be here today. Thank you. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, Ashraf. We want to thank our sponsors for supporting the Sussex Revenue Podcast. RevSetter is the #1 customer success and management platform in the Middle East region, offering global capabilities mixed with regional solutions that helps your CS, account management, and go-to-market teams 10x efficiency, improve customer experience, and turbocharge customer retention rates.
And thank you to Medlify, a leading marketplace. Workers and employers in the healthcare space needs and demands meet, create benefits for both sides. Thank you again, and we'll see you next time.